Brickyard Barbell Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Brickyard Barbell Podcast. This will be our first installment of the podcast, and I am your host, Evan Arthur. I'll tell you a little bit about me before we begin. I am the Strongman Corporation State Chairman for the state of Idaho. I've competed in powerlifting and strongman as an amateur since 2011. I've also was involved in boxing as an amateur, and after getting my ass kicked, realized that boxing was just not for me. I'll just stick to the strength sports. My main studies have been holistic health and nutrition. I'm constantly discussing and researching training and programming. There's something new to always learn. And that is my hopes with this podcast, is to educate people, not only with just opinions, but the real science behind it. The Brickyard Barbell Podcast will be covering a wide variety of content. We'll be touching bases on nutrition, mind and muscle connectivity like you see in bodybuilding. I want to touch on spirituality and how it relates to body's performance. There's only a little bit of a research on that. I'd like to tap into the benefits of that. Pretty much all the strength sports. We're going to touch on strongman, of course, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and how this tactical training can improve your day-to-day life. I'm going to talk about rehab and recovery and how important that is. Stretching, just simple stuff of stretching, yoga, stuff like that. Maybe we'll get into some cryotherapy, and we'll bring some of those guys on and discuss that new phenomenon. I'm going to cover events, so you know what to look for, what to train for, what events we're holding here at 360. I'm going to cover some national events, maybe some world stuff, so you can just keep up on what's going on. Let's see. I want to talk about supplementation as well. When I say supplementation, we're going to talk about your basic proteins, your BCAAs. We're talking about nitric oxide, stuff like that. You always see at the supplement stores. I'm going to talk about SARMs. For those of you who don't know SARMs, be on the lookout for that. It's kind of a new thing that people are craving about. We're going to talk about if they work or not. We're going to look at the scientific research on it. We're going to talk to some people who actually use it. I'm going to cover steroids. That's such a taboo subject to talk about, but I want to get into the scientific part of it and what you don't really know about them. If you have a subject you'd like to talk about, or if you have overcome a diversity in your life and where strength or a sport has helped you along with your recovery, we'd love to talk to you. So come down to 360 Fitness or hit us up on our Facebook or www.360fitnessnorthidaho.com and leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you. This podcast, I'm going to talk about some events. So we have some cool events coming up. Here at 360, we have a Veterans Powerlifting Meet coming up on October 14th. This is something we got together with the Idaho National Guard to kind of help out the veterans. And we all see what's going on in the media and NFL. And we kind of felt it was time to give our thanks to our veterans in America and to let the veterans know that we still have their back when a lot of people don't. This lift is for all veterans, all branches of the military. And we've opened it up to the civilians as well. We just ask for a small donation for the National Guard. We'd love to see you down here. Like I said, it's October 14th, down here at 360 Fitness, North Idaho. We'll have a bench, squat, and a deadlift. So it'll be a full power meet. They're going to bring down the obstacle course for the kids. We're going to have some food. It's going to be a good time. So it'd be great for you guys to come down and support the veterans, in America. One of the things I want to talk about that's kind of special to me is during that event, before we begin, we're actually going to have a live singing of the national anthem. I kind of feel it's kind of important these days. Let's see here. We have got our next event I want to talk about is here in Spokane. Ribic Productions puts on a Night of Champions bodybuilding show. It's on the 21st of October. They have a day show and a night show. I highly suggest you go to the night show. It is a good time. Great people. It's really fun. It is the NPC bodybuilding sanctioned event. It's held at the Spokane Convention Center. See, I've been going to this event for, 4 years now, and it's just a great time. Ribbick Productions really, they pull out on the stops on these. Let's see here. At the intermission, it's kind of fun. I want to talk about that same bodybuilding show. The intermission, Ribbick Productions brings in these massive gorillas, and they have a squat challenge. Now, the squat challenge is whoever can squat 500 pounds for reps. So it is a good time. I think last year we got 22 reps from a guy from Seattle. That's just insane. It sounds like this year they're going to bring in another little show for us as well, another squat challenge, but for the guys who weigh 200 pounds and under. They're going to be squatting 405 for reps. So that should be kind of fun for the smaller guys to see how many reps we can get with 405. So you double your body weight. That's always fun to watch. Let's see, we've got, moving on to another event. It's held by trained strongmen and World's Strongest Man got together. I thought it was kind of neat, how the CrossFit does the video entries kind of. So Strongman decided we're going to do that as well. And they're having a World's Strongest Man for the lighter guys as well. 80 kilos, 90 kilos, and so on. You get 3 lifts, which is awesome. It's a deadlift for max tonnage in 30 seconds, a farmer's walk for 100 feet, and your max 3 rep log. And then you submit the videos, and they pick, I want to say the top 30, you get the entry to the World's Strongest Man. I think this is great to be getting the amateurs out there and getting them competing on this level. Strongman's always struggled on getting mainstream media coverage. And I think this is a great step in the right direction for strongman, an amateur strongman. Let's see, it looks like it's December 19th is the competition date. And I've seen some of the athletes that they've chosen for this already. They've really brought the best of the best in the world from every weight class. It's insane. Some of these guys should be pros already. So it should be a great show. Let's see here. Another event put on by the North American Strongman is Nationals. Strongman Corporation puts on Nationals every year around October and November. And they switch venues. This year, it's in Vegas. They take everybody who's won Amateur Strongman and they give them an invite to Nationals in order to win their pro card. The weight classes are the same, 80, 90, 105 kilos, 120 kilos in the open class. I've seen some pretty tough competitions in the last few years with Nationals, some high and big numbers being hit. It's really impressive. Hope to make it out there one day. There we have another event held by the North American Strongman again. They really, this year, have gone out and put on a lot of contests and hosts and promote Strongman. We have America's Strongest Man being held in Arizona on October 14th and 15th. This one brings the biggest names in strongman. We're talking your Sojourner Savickas, your Jerry Pritchett's, your Eddie Halls, your Robert O'Bursts. It brings out the best of the best. It's always a good show, always. Strongman Corporation is one of the greatest corporations there is for strongman. They've been promoting and hosting strongman events for a long time. Being involved with them, it's just it's amazing, the stuff and the money they put into, worldwide, not just in America. They're always over across seas promoting shows, flying people over from America to compete over there, because the strongman world over there in Europe is huge. If you want to learn more about strongman, I suggest you go to their site. That's www.strongmancorporation.com. Depending on what state you're in, it'll show you who's your state chairman and maybe how to get in contact with them on what they're promoting, because state chairmen are supposed to host a show every year in every state. well, per their state. So you may want to get in contact with them and start training. It'd be kind of fun. And they would love to talk to you about how strongman can help on any other strength sport you do or sport that you do. Strongman will help. I guarantee it. Let's see, there's a few more contests that are happening, and we'll try to put a link on the 360 Fitness website. If you're interested in powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, keep a lookout for those links. I'll probably put quite a bit on there, and we'll be hosting smaller non-sanctioned stuff there. I will try to update the USAPL meets that they have, because we have one coming up in February of next year. And we have a few more strongman events coming up January and March. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be putting on some other powerlifting meets here at the gym as well, at 360 Fitness. Let's see. I want to talk about our next podcast that we'll be doing. We're going to bring on some guests after this podcast here. And our first guest we're going to bring on is a powerlifting elite, Chris Ray. He's kind of a local guy here in the Pacific Northwest who has insane numbers and a mountain of knowledge. He lives out of 360 Fitness North Idaho here, and we thought it'd be good to have him on. He's got a lot of life experiences. He does a lot of programming, and he's got a hell of a life story. So be looking out for that one. That's going to be a great podcast with that guy. We'll probably be covering all sorts of stuff from programming, nutrition, a little bit of everything on his life. We have been upgrading all of our equipment here at 360 Fitness North Idaho. So if you're new to the area or know somebody that wants to train in strongman, powerlifting, please come down. We've got new equipment, and we'll be adding more equipment as we go. We've also got a new MMA instructor, which would be great for you to come down and meet him. Just a wonderful guy. Great personality. He'll be glad to teach you. I want to talk about one more thing here before we take off. I want to talk about seminars. Here at 360 Fitness North Idaho, we've had a deadlifting seminar for beginners. And I would like to expand on that. This winter, I will be hosting some strongman seminars. I want to show you how strongman can benefit you in your everyday life and other sports that you play. I will be covering Atlas stones, log pressing, yoke training, farmer's walks, sandbag carries, tire flips, pretty much everything that relates to strongman. I'm going to show you how to do them correctly and efficiently. And we're going to have some fun. I'm also going to be covering some powerlifting stuff. I'm going to be covering the squat, how to properly do squats. We're going to get into some geared lifting, squat suits and stuff like that. We're going to talk about bench press. Everybody wants to know how much you bench press. Well, I'm going to show you how to get a bigger bench press. That way, the guy at the supermarket, you tell him, how much you bench press, man? You tell him 135. We're also in the building phase for North Idaho's only posing room for bodybuilders, bikinis, and everybody else who does that kind of events. If you're looking for a place to dial in your posing, keep a lookout for that. Posing is such a lost art form these days on the bodybuilding stage. We want to do our part to kind of bring it back and make it more of a show. So hit us up. I want to thank you for listening, and don't forget to message us about the podcast and being on the show, or you got ideas on the show. We'd love to hear them. On the next podcast, we'll have the full crew on, so you'll meet, and I'll introduce every one of them. It'll be a little more entertaining for you. That way you don't have to listen to me the whole entire time. I'll be releasing podcasts every couple weeks. So make sure you share it with your friends and help us get the knowledge out. Thank you.